Have you ever woken up feeling like a stranger in your own skin? A subtle dissonance humming beneath the surface of your daily life? Is that persistent, nagging feeling that something is just off? Not a dramatic, life-altering crisis, but a quiet erosion of your usual spark, a fog that seems to settle over your thoughts, and a fatigue that no amount of sleep can truly banish. For many, this sensation begins to creep in around the age of 30, a temporal marker that often coincides with a series of almost imperceptible, yet profoundly impactful shifts within the intricate orchestra of our endocrine system. Imagine your body as a finely tuned instrument, capable of producing a vibrant, harmonious melody of wellness. But as we navigate the decades, particularly after hitting that 30-year milestone, this internal symphony can begin to falter. Notes that were once clear and strong can become muted. Rhythms can fall out of sync, and entirely new, discordant tones can emerge, subtly altering the overall composition of your well-being. It's as if a hidden conductor, one you never consciously hired, has begun subtly changing the tempo and volume of your body's internal broadcast, leaving you feeling increasingly out of tune with yourself. You might find yourself struggling with concentration, experiencing mood swings that seem to come out of nowhere, or noticing changes in your energy levels that are difficult to explain. Perhaps your skin has lost its luster, your sleep is more restless, or your digestion feels sluggish. These aren't necessarily symptoms of a serious illness, but rather the quiet whispers of your hormones, those powerful chemical messengers, beginning to recalibrate, sometimes with less than graceful transitions. This isn't about aging in the traditional sense, a simple decline, but rather a complex biological recalibration that affects nearly every facet of your physical and emotional existence. The subtle ebb of estrogen, the gentle progesterone whisper, the steady rhythm of your thyroid, and even the anxious hum of cortisol. All these players are constantly interacting, influencing everything from your metabolism and mood to your sleep patterns and cognitive function. When these delicate balances are disrupted, even by seemingly small degrees, the cascading effects can be significant, leaving you feeling perpetually a step behind, a shadow of your former vibrant self. This journey is designed to demystify these internal transformations, to turn that pervasive sense of confusion into crystal-clear understanding. We're not just talking about abstract biological processes. We're delving into the relatable moments where life just feels wrong, where you find yourself questioning your own resilience and vitality. It's about recognizing that the fog in your brain, the persistent fatigue, and the emotional roller coaster are not just quirks of modern life, but often tangible manifestations of hormonal shifts that can be understood and, crucially, addressed. This exploration will equip you with the power of knowledge, transforming bewilderment into empowerment as we uncover the specific hormonal imbalances that commonly affect women after 30, and more importantly, provide a clear roadmap to help you reclaim your vitality, leaving you not just informed, but truly ready to thrive. The tapestry of female physiology undergoes a profound and often overlooked transformation as the third decade of life unfolds. Beyond the widely discussed estrogen and progesterone, a constellation of other hormonal players orchestrates our daily experience, and their subtle shifts can profoundly impact our sense of well-being. Consider, for instance, the thyroid gland, a small, butterfly-shaped organ nestled at the base of your neck. It acts as the body's master metabolic regulator, dictating the pace at which our cells convert nutrients into energy. While hypothyroidism, an underactive thyroid, is a well-known condition, subclinical hypothyroidism, where thyroid hormone levels are slightly outside the optimal range but not yet low enough to trigger a formal diagnosis, can manifest as a constellation of vague symptoms often dismissed as stress or poor lifestyle choices. This can present as persistent fatigue that sleep doesn't alleviate, a pervasive feeling of being cold even in warm environments, dry skin and brittle hair, and even a subtle slowing of cognitive processes, often described as mental fogginess or difficulty concentrating. The impact on mood can also be significant, contributing to feelings of apathy or low-grade depression. Furthermore, the adrenal glands, perched atop the kidneys, play a critical role in our stress response through the production of cortisol. While acute cortisol spikes are essential for navigating immediate threats, chronic elevation, often a consequence of sustained stress from work, relationships, or societal pressures, can lead to a state of adrenal dysregulation. This isn't the dramatic adrenal burnout often sensationalized, but rather a more nuanced disruption where the body's ability to appropriately manage cortisol levels becomes impaired. Consequently, individuals might experience daytime fatigue coupled with nighttime insomnia, cravings for salty or sugary foods, and a weakened immune system leading to more frequent infections. The hormonal interplay is incredibly intricate. For example, elevated cortisol can negatively impact thyroid function, creating a vicious cycle of fatigue and metabolic slowdown. Another crucial layer is the role of insulin, the hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar. As we age, and particularly if our diets are high in refined carbohydrates and sugars, insulin sensitivity can decrease. This can lead to fluctuations in blood sugar levels, causing energy crashes after meals, irritability, and increased fat storage, especially around the abdomen. These hormonal shifts are not isolated events. They interact dynamically, influencing one another in a complex feedback loop. Imagine a sophisticated control panel where adjusting one dial can inadvertently affect several others. Understanding this interconnectedness is key to deciphering why seemingly unrelated symptoms might be occurring simultaneously. For instance, a woman might notice her menstrual cycle becoming irregular, her skin breaking out more than usual, and experiencing new bouts of anxiety. Individually, these might be attributed to various factors, but when viewed through the lens of hormonal dysregulation, perhaps a combination of fluctuating estrogen, progesterone, and elevated cortisol, a clearer picture begins to emerge. This part of our exploration focuses on recognizing these less obvious hormonal influencers and their potential to subtly, yet powerfully, reshape our internal landscape, setting the stage for a deeper dive into specific imbalances and their management. The intricate dance of hormones extends beyond the primary players, weaving a complex narrative that impacts our physical and emotional states in ways we often fail to recognize until their subtle discord becomes undeniable. Beyond estrogen, progesterone, thyroid, and cortisol, consider the lesser discussed but equally vital roles of hormones like ghrelin and leptin, the appetite regulators. Ghrelin, often dubbed the hunger hormone, signals the brain to stimulate food intake, while leptin, produced by fat cells, signals satiety and suppresses appetite. When sleep is disrupted, stress levels are high, or dietary patterns are imbalanced, these two hormones can fall out of sync. This disruption can lead to increased ghrelin production and decreased leptin sensitivity, creating a persistent feeling of hunger even after eating and contributing to weight gain, particularly around the midsection. This isn't merely about willpower. It's a biological imperative driven by hormonal signals that have been thrown off course. Furthermore, the melanocortin system, which influences energy balance and pigment production, is also intricately linked to hormonal fluctuations. Disruptions here can affect not only metabolism but also skin health, potentially contributing to changes in pigmentation or increased susceptibility to sun damage, adding another layer to the multifaceted changes experienced post-30. Another crucial layer involves the neurotransmitters, which, while not strictly hormones, are intimately connected to hormonal activity and profoundly influence mood and cognitive function. Serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, for instance, are heavily influenced by the sex hormones. A dip in estrogen, for example, can affect serotonin production, leading to feelings of sadness or irritability, while imbalances in dopamine can impact motivation and pleasure, contributing to anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. The gut microbiome, a bustling ecosystem of bacteria within our digestive tract, also plays a surprisingly significant role. Emerging research highlights the gut-brain axis, a bidirectional communication pathway where gut bacteria can influence hormone production and neurotransmitter levels, and vice versa. An imbalance in gut flora, often exacerbated by stress and poor diet, can therefore indirectly contribute to hormonal dysregulation and the associated symptoms of fatigue and fogginess. Now, consider how this applies when you face a particularly demanding work project or a period of significant emotional stress. Your body's response involves a cascade of hormonal and neurotransmitter changes. Cortisol levels rise to help you cope, but if this state is prolonged, it can suppress the production of other essential hormones, disrupt sleep patterns, and alter the delicate balance of your gut microbiome. This creates a feedback loop where stress begets hormonal imbalance, which in turn exacerbates the feeling of being overwhelmed and fatigued. It's not uncommon to experience heightened food cravings during these periods, often for comfort foods high in sugar and refined carbohydrates, which can further disrupt blood sugar regulation and contribute to inflammation, creating yet another layer of complexity in the overall picture of feeling off. Understanding these interconnected systems, from appetite hormones and metabolic pathways to neurotransmitter balance and gut health, provides a more comprehensive framework for appreciating the subtle yet pervasive influence of hormonal shifts on our overall vitality and well-being as we navigate our 30s and beyond. Now, consider how the intricacies of hormonal shifts extend into the realm of cellular communication and nutrient utilization, areas often overlooked in general discussions of well-being. Beyond simply regulating mood or energy levels, hormones act as sophisticated signaling molecules that dictate how our cells absorb and process vital nutrients. For example, the fluctuating levels of insulin, as previously alluded to, don't just affect blood sugar. They also influence the uptake of amino acids into muscle cells, impacting muscle repair and growth. Similarly, thyroid hormones are critical for the proper functioning of mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells, affecting their ability to generate ATP, the body's primary energy currency. When thyroid function is suboptimal, even if not clinically hypothyroid, mitochondrial efficiency can decrease, leading to a pervasive feeling of cellular fatigue that manifests as overall physical sluggishness. Furthermore, the interplay between sex hormones and vitamin D metabolism is a fascinating and often underappreciated aspect of hormonal health. Estrogen, for instance, plays a role in vitamin D receptor activity, meaning that declining estrogen levels can subtly impair the body's ability to utilize this crucial vitamin, which in turn affects calcium absorption, bone health, and immune function. This can manifest as increased joint pain or a heightened susceptibility to infections, symptoms that might not immediately be linked back to hormonal changes. Another significant, yet often subtle, impact occurs at the level of neurotransmitter receptor sensitivity. Hormonal fluctuations can alter the number and responsiveness of receptors for neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. This means that even if serotonin or dopamine levels are adequate, a change in receptor sensitivity due to hormonal shifts can lead to a blunted response, contributing to mood disturbances, reduced pleasure from activities, and even changes in pain perception. Imagine your brain's communication network. Hormones can act like volume controls for these signals, and when those controls are altered, the message itself can become distorted or weakened, leading to symptoms that feel deeply personal and confusing. This cellular and neurochemical recalibration is a fundamental aspect of why feeling off after 30 can be so pervasive, touching everything from physical stamina to emotional resilience. Building on this understanding of cellular signaling, let's delve into the impact of hormonal dysregulation on the body's inflammatory response and immune system modulation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is increasingly recognized as a silent contributor to a myriad of health issues, and hormonal imbalances are significant drivers of this process. For instance, elevated cortisol, a hallmark of chronic stress, can suppress the immune system's ability to effectively manage inflammation, paradoxically leading to an increase in pro-inflammatory markers over time. This can manifest as persistent aches and pains, digestive issues, and a general feeling of malaise. Conversely, declining estrogen levels can affect the body's natural anti-inflammatory pathways, potentially exacerbating inflammatory conditions or making individuals more susceptible to them. Consider the experience of increased joint stiffness or lingering inflammation after minor injuries, which can become more prevalent as hormonal profiles shift. Furthermore, the gut-brain axis mentioned earlier is deeply intertwined with both inflammation and hormone regulation. Imbalances in gut bacteria can lead to increased intestinal permeability, often termed leaky gut, allowing inflammatory molecules to enter the bloodstream and trigger systemic inflammation. Hormones, in turn, influence the composition of the gut microbiome. For example, changes in progesterone can affect gut motility, while stress hormones can alter the types of bacteria that thrive. This creates a complex feedback loop where hormonal shifts can disrupt gut health, leading to inflammation, which then further impacts hormonal balance and overall well-being. Imagine the body as a delicate ecosystem. When one element, like hormonal balance, is disturbed, it can trigger a cascade of negative effects throughout the entire system, including a heightened inflammatory state that saps energy and vitality. This is why addressing hormonal imbalances isn't just about replenishing specific hormones. It's about restoring a state of systemic equilibrium where the body's natural defense and regulatory mechanisms can function optimally, leading to a reduction in chronic inflammation and a bolstering of immune resilience, contributing significantly to a renewed sense of vitality and robust health. The impact of hormonal shifts also extends profoundly into the realm of cognitive function and emotional regulation, creating a subtle but significant alteration in how we perceive and interact with the world. It's not just about feeling tired. It's about the quality of your thoughts and the stability of your emotions. For instance, estrogen plays a critical role in the production and utilization of neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and acetylcholine, all of which are vital for mood, focus, memory, and motivation. As estrogen levels begin their gradual decline after 30, these neurotransmitter systems can become less efficient. This can manifest as difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, a diminished ability to learn new things, and a reduced capacity to experience pleasure or motivation, often described as brain fog or a general lack of mental clarity. Imagine trying to navigate a complex task with a faulty GPS. Your brain might be receiving signals, but the processing and output are compromised, leading to errors and frustration. Furthermore, the fluctuating levels of progesterone, while often associated with calming effects due to its interaction with GABA receptors in the brain, can also contribute to mood swings and irritability when out of balance. This might explain why seemingly minor stressors can trigger disproportionately strong emotional reactions, or why periods of heightened anxiety or weepiness can emerge without a clear external trigger. Consider the analogy of a finely tuned orchestra. When the string section, estrogen, is slightly out of tune, it affects the overall harmony, and when the percussion section, progesterone, becomes erratic, the rhythm is disrupted, leading to a disharmonious experience. The impact on sleep architecture is another crucial layer. Hormonal imbalances can disrupt the natural sleep-wake cycle, leading to insomnia, frequent awakenings, or a lack of restorative deep sleep. Poor sleep, in turn, exacerbates cognitive deficits and emotional dysregulation, creating a vicious cycle where hormonal shifts lead to poor sleep, which then further amplifies the cognitive and emotional symptoms. This interconnectedness highlights how seemingly disparate issues, like feeling foggy, being emotionally reactive, and struggling with sleep, can all stem from the same root cause: a recalibration of the body's intricate hormonal network, impacting not just our physical sensations but our very cognitive and emotional landscape. Reflecting on this journey so far, we've navigated the subtle yet profound ways our internal landscape transforms, particularly as we embrace the complexities of our 30s and beyond. It's become clear that what might initially feel like isolated, perplexing symptoms are, in fact, interconnected manifestations of a sophisticated biological recalibration. The intricate symphony of our endocrine system, once perhaps playing a familiar tune, begins to introduce new movements, altering its overall composition. This isn't a breakdown, but a reorchestration, where each hormonal player, from the subtle ebb of one to the steady rhythm of another, contributes to a nuanced shift in our experience of vitality. The convergence of these explored threads paints a picture of a body actively responding and adapting, influencing not just our physical sensations but also the very clarity of our thoughts and the steadiness of our emotional compass. Conceptually, we can perceive this as a dynamic equilibrium, where even minor adjustments in key regulators can ripple through the entire system, affecting everything from cellular energy production to the intricate pathways governing mood and cognition. It's akin to observing how a single misplaced note can subtly alter the entire melody of a song, or how a slight shift in the foundation of a complex structure can impact its overall stability. These insights illuminate the underlying mechanisms that shape our daily realities, transforming confusion into a more comprehensive understanding of our own physiology. As we pivot towards the final reflection, the path forward, illuminated by this deeper awareness, becomes increasingly discernible, hinting at the potential for renewed harmony. In light of these insights, the cumulative effect of these hormonal dialogues underscores a fundamental truth: that our well-being is a continuous conversation between our internal biology and our lived experience. The subtle dissonances we've explored are not endpoints, but rather signals from within, prompting a deeper engagement with our own physiology. This journey has illuminated the interconnectedness of seemingly disparate bodily functions, revealing how a recalibration at one level can resonate throughout the entire system, influencing our energy, our clarity, and our emotional resilience. The understanding we've cultivated sets the stage for a more proactive and informed approach to nurturing our health, recognizing that even the most subtle internal shifts hold significant meaning. Drawing these strands together, we see a powerful narrative emerge, one of adaptation, complexity, and inherent resilience. The profound influence of these internal messengers, orchestrating everything from metabolic processes to emotional states, underscores the delicate balance that underpins our sense of self. It's a testament to the intricate design of our bodies, constantly seeking equilibrium amidst change. As we prepare to bring this exploration to its culmination, there's a palpable sense of anticipation, a recognition that understanding these internal dynamics is the first crucial step towards reclaiming a more vibrant and balanced existence, moving from a state of subtle discord towards a more resonant harmony. The journey through the subtle shifts of our hormonal landscape, particularly as we navigate the terrain beyond 30, reveals a profound truth. Our bodies are not static entities, but rather dynamic ecosystems in constant dialogue with time and experience. What may have begun as a nagging sense of being off, a fog in the mind, a flicker of fatigue, an unexpected emotional ripple, is, in essence, the body's sophisticated language communicating a period of significant recalibration. This isn't a sign of decline, but a testament to an intricate biological symphony undergoing a complex, often unnoticed, reorchestration. The interplay of estrogen's ebb, progesterone's whisper, thyroid's steady rhythm, and cortisol's anxious hum, alongside a host of other hormonal messengers, creates a nuanced internal climate that profoundly shapes our physical vitality and emotional equilibrium. Understanding these shifts is not about diagnosing a deficit, but about recognizing the elegant complexity of our own physiology and learning to interpret its signals with clarity and compassion. This deeper comprehension empowers us to move beyond passive observation and towards active participation in our own well-being. The realization that seemingly disparate symptoms, from changes in energy and mood to cognitive fog and physical discomfort, can be intrinsically linked to these hormonal dialogues shifts our perspective from confusion to clarity. It transforms the abstract science of endocrinology into a relatable narrative of personal experience, offering a framework for understanding the subtle, yet powerful, forces shaping our daily lives. By recognizing the interconnectedness of these hormonal influences, we gain the ability to discern patterns, anticipate changes, and, most importantly, to respond proactively. This isn't about chasing elusive perfection, but about fostering a harmonious relationship with our changing bodies, acknowledging their inherent wisdom and capacity for adaptation. The true practice begins now, the practice of listening. It's about tuning into the subtle frequencies of your own internal orchestra, recognizing that a momentary dissonance is not a permanent disruption, but an invitation to understand and adjust. Armed with this knowledge, you are no longer merely subject to these internal currents. You are equipped to navigate them with intention. This understanding is the foundation upon which lasting vitality is built, a testament to the power of informed self-awareness. It's about cultivating a relationship with your body that is built on curiosity, respect, and a deep appreciation for its remarkable resilience,